Welcome to one of the most beautiful countries we've ever been to. Today we're jumping into the heart of Norway where the sun never sets and the mountains meet the sea. We spent 2 weeks hiking during the midnight sun and we're about to go over the top 5 hikes that we experienced in the Lofoten Islands. From the insane peaks to the beautiful fjords, these hikes are some of the most jaw-dropping views that we've ever encountered on our trips. If you're planning a trip to Norway, prepare for the journey of a lifetime as we take you through the Lofoten Islands where the sun never sets and the adventures never end. If you're new here, we're Giselle and Steven, also known as the Lover's Passport, and we take you on bucket list adventures every single week as we've traveled to over 40 countries around the world with many more to go. If you guys love adventure and love travel, don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more weekly itineraries and adventures. So we visited the Lofoten Islands during the midnight sun. This phenomenon happens from about mid-May until July, and basically what happens is the sun never sets. The sun will get really close to the horizon, but because Lofoten Islands is so far north, the sun never goes below the horizon, which makes for some incredible photography, absolutely jaw-dropping views in around every corner. When we went hiking, sometimes we were hiking during 12 p.m., other times we were hiking at 12 a.m. Our sleep schedule was all over the place, so in this video, we're going to be diving into the top 5 hikes to do when you are visiting the Lofoten Islands during midnight sun. If you guys want to see our ultimate guide to Norway or any of our other itineraries as we were chasing the northern lights or spending a full 2 weeks in the Lofoten Islands, make sure to check out the videos up here where we go through our full itinerary and other helpful tips. So as I was saying, the beauty of midnight sun is you can hike all day, every single day, as long as the weather permits. Most of the hikes we would start right around 9 p.m. so that way we could be at the top between midnight and 2 a.m., which is when golden hour and the sun had the most beautiful glow was happening. And then from there, we would hike down between 3 to 5 a.m. and we'd go to sleep. We would sleep anywhere from 5 a.m. to around 2 or 3 p.m. and then we would start the cycle over again. The only thing I do want to note is some of these hikes are best done in the middle of the day. So just because it's midnight sun does not mean that you need to hike it when the sun is going down. Some of the hikes are definitely sunset and sunrise hikes, but other ones you want to hike up so you can have the beautiful views of the blue water, which we'll dive into right now. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our first hike.
Now, disclaimer before we jump into all of these hikes, we do not speak Norwegian, so we are trying our best with these pronunciations, but give us some slack if we're saying them wrong. For our first hike, you're going to be heading over towards the beautiful little town of Henningsvær to go hike Festvagtinden. Now, this is a 1.5 mile out and back trail, and it's generally considered a pretty challenging route. It is a very popular area for hiking too, so you'll want to make sure that when you are out hiking to get there pretty early, whether you're going in the morning or around sunset time, because the parking lots do get pretty full. Now, this hike is going to take you up a scree field that gives you a ton of beautiful views of Henningsvær and the surrounding areas, and this was one of our absolute favorite hikes that we've ever done. The best time to do this trail is going to be from May to September, especially for midnight sun in July and August, and this is very, very steep terrain over the course of like a small amount of mileage, so it's pretty straight up. I was pretty happy that I brought some hiking poles with me. It is a little bit longer if you also decide to do the neighboring hike of Heia, so we decided to do both of them in one go. You can also just do Heia on its own, or you can go all the way up and do Vestvagoy on its own. If you have time, I would recommend doing both of them just to do the full loop, and it was absolutely beautiful and worth it. When we were coming down, we had a rainbow. It was like midnight outside. It was magical and stunning, and when you're out hiking during midnight sun, it's super nice because there's a lot less crowds. So we highly recommend this trail when you are out exploring the Lofoten Islands. Next up, we have Mannen. We actually did this hike in both winter and in the summertime. If you guys missed our last video on our ultimate Lofoten winter itinerary, you can go ahead and find it down below in the description box. But this is one that we would definitely recommend no matter the season. It's 2.6 miles out and back with about 1,200 feet of elevation gain. So when you get to Mannen, you're going to want to park over down by Hokland Beach. There is a parking area. There's also an overflow parking area in the event that it is very crowded. We had to park in the overflow because we were doing this hike midday, but it's a stunning trail. This one's a much easier hike than Festvagtinden in our opinion. mountain. It took us about a little over an hour to get to the summit. That was with a lot of taking photos and everything, but it is pretty well maintained of a trail. There are some little bits of rock scrambling here and there, but overall it is a fantastic, I would say, intermediate trail.
We made it! Good job.
Next up, we have Offersoykammen. Hopefully I said that right. It's about 1.5 miles out and back with 1,400 feet of elevation gain. You guys will see that there is a trend here for all the hikes in the Lofoten Islands. They're usually about 1 to 2 miles round trip and at least 1,200 feet of elevation gain. So they are pretty steep. This one was no exception. Another one I was happy I brought my hiking poles on. This one you'll also want to make sure that you have some nice sturdy hiking shoes because there were some like little slippy sections with some loose dirt. But overall, the trail was totally worth it. We actually got stuck up in the clouds for a second. Once the clouds went away, we had this stunning view. If you are looking for some blue turquoise water views of the Lofoten Islands, then this is definitely the hike for you. This is one that was extremely popular too. There's a ton of different hiking trails over by this mountain. And so expect that you'll probably not be the only ones up there. Overall, it's an amazing hike that you can't miss in Lofoten Islands.
The next hike is going to be Reinebringen. This is probably the most famous out of all of these. It is an absolutely beautiful view from the very top, and it's pretty easy to get up there. The trail itself is 3.6 miles out and back with around 1,700 feet of elevation gain, but I will say this was hands down the busiest trail that we did. When we started at the parking lot, walking up to the very top, we saw over 500 people, and that was only within the span of about 90 minutes as we were hiking up to the top of Reinebringen. This is one of those places where you are going to want to try and do it during midnight sun. So if you guys are there during the months of May through July, I would recommend being at the top somewhere between 1 to 3 a.m. That is right when the sun dips below and starts to come right back up. It is behind the mountains. It gives you this incredible view. When we were up there, it was still a little cloudy. We had some bad weather during this trip, but we went there during both winter and summer. During winter, we were not able to make it to the very top. During summer though, it is much easier to hike. There's great stairs to go up, but I would recommend bringing hiking poles and being cautious because it is quite the drop off when you get to the very top. Right behind Reinebringen as one of the more popular hikes in the area is called Ryten. Ryten is one of the harder hikes. It's actually the longest one that we have on this list, even though it has kind of a steady elevation gain. By the end of the hike, you are going to be doing 4.5 miles round trip with around 1,922 feet of elevation gain. So it is the longest. It is the one that has the most elevation gain, and this is not including if you decide to go down to the black sand beach. There is a black sand beach below which Ryten kind of looks over. It has this absolutely incredible view, and this is one that you can do during midday or during sunset. We recommend doing this hike between 5 p.m. and midnight. We decided to do it during midnight. Unfortunately, there were a lot of clouds, as I was saying earlier, but it is one of the most beautiful hikes that we did. We did this during winter as well, and it was stunning. Definitely one of our top 5 hikes out of all the ones that we were doing there, and it's one that you cannot miss. When you are doing it though, please remember to bring lots of snacks and lots of water because it will take you a long time, especially if you plan on doing the black sand beach in addition to hiking up Ryten, because you have to do basically 2 full passes all the way up to get to the top of the mountain. And that is it when it comes to our top 5 hikes in the Lofoten Islands. This area is one of the most beautiful that we have ever been in the world. Even after traveling to over 40 different countries, doing hiking and adventuring throughout the entire world, we still think that the Lofoten Islands is one of the most beautiful we have ever been to. So if it's not on your bucket list, make sure to add it. And if you guys are planning a trip there to go hiking, you are going to have the time of your life. Make sure to give us a like and subscribe if you want to see more itineraries and bucket list destination guides just like this. And next up on our to-do list is Canada. So we'll see you out there in Vancouver. With that, we'll see you out there on the next adventure.